Hi class, today we are on Saxon Book 3, Lesson 76, and we are going to talk about multiplying by 11s and 12s. So I've got my 11s on the board over here. These are what we're going to look at first. And the beginning of this, I want you to notice a pattern. So take a look. We've got 11 times 1, 11 times 2, 11 times 3, times 4, times 5. Look at the answers, look at the factors that we're multiplying together, and what do you notice on this side for times 1 all the way to times 9? Do you notice that our answers are just double digits? So if we're doing 11 times 1, our answer is going to be 1, 1, which is 11. If we're doing 11 times 4, our answer is 4, 4, which is 44. That pattern works for 1 through 9. So if you can remember that pattern, then multiplying times 11 is super easy because there's only 3 problems that you're going to have to memorize. And 11 times 10, we already know a trick for. We know our tens trick, which is where we take this number and tack a 0 onto the end. So this one you know a trick for as well, bringing us down to really only 2 problems that we need to memorize. So those problems are 11 times 11, which is 121, and 11 times 12, which is 132. If you can remember your 11s trick, your 10s trick, and memorize those 2 problems, then your 11s are super easy. All right, let's move on to 12s. There is a pattern with 12s as well. It's just not quite as obvious as the 11s pattern. So I want you to take a look. I've got 12 times 1 all the way down to 12 times 12. Look at the answers and see if you notice what's going on here. So typically when my students are here in class, they're able to say, Mrs. Duarte, the tens place is counting down, or counting up, by ones. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, it works that far, and then we skip to 6. But then it goes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we skip the 11 and we start 12, 13, 14. So there is a little bit of a pattern looking at the tens place, and then take a look at the ones place. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, then it goes down to 0, but look here, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, what do you think will come next? 6, 8. So we're multiplying times 12. So really, if we were going to look at this problem as a 2-digit multiplication problem, we would have 12, let's say 12 times 4. What we're doing here, I haven't shown you this yet. It is coming up. So you're going to get a really quick preview of a future skill. When we multiply a 2-digit number times a 1-digit number, we multiply the ones place, so the 4 times the 2, and we get 8, and then we multiply the tens place, so the 4 times the 1, and we get 4. So multiplying times 12, really we're multiplying times 2, and then we're multiplying times 1, or 10, because this is 110. So that kind of explains the pattern here, how this is counting by 2s, because we're multiplying the ones place times 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and it would keep going. Now, these that I have in the darker blue color, they're a little bit tricky because they don't follow the pattern. But I want to show you there's even a pattern with that. It happens when we do 12 times 5, and then it happens again when we do 12 times 10. So if you think, oh, 12 times my multiples of 5, that's a little tricky. So we're counting by 12s here. We say 12, 24, 36, 48. We get up to this 8 in the ones place, and we have to add another group of 12 because here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 12. If we want to do 12 times 5, we're going to have another group of 12. So in addition, here we have 4 12s, which is 48. If we want to add one more group of 12, we have to do 48 plus 12, and then we end up having to carry a 10, because 8 plus 2 gives me 10. So that's where I get my 60. So if you remember, every 5th group of 10s, I have to carry a 10. That can help you out with this pattern as well. All right, so the final thing with 12s is if you have been doing the power-ups for your Saxon math, it has you counting by 12s pretty regularly throughout the book. That's another way that we can do this. We can just count by 12s. We've got that down. We've been practicing that all year, and that's a good strategy to use when I'm multiplying by 12s. Okay, so one type of problem that you may see, I'm going to have to erase all of this so that I can show you this next problem on the board. If you want to write them down, now would be a good time to pause, put them down for reference. If you have a multiplication table that you filled out, then you already have these problems and you don't need to write them down in a notebook anywhere. So the next type of problem with this lesson, with counting by 12s in particular, is they like to have you fill out a table for 12s. So this problem says Milton measured the total length of sheets of copy paper placed end to end. Each sheet of paper was 11 inches long. He recorded the results in a table. Make a table to show the total length of 1 through 12 sheets of paper. So here we have our number of papers. And here we have our length in inches. All right, so usually when you see this in your book, they're going to have it started for you. They're going to say 1 sheet of paper is 11 inches, 2 sheets of paper is 22 inches, 3 sheets is 33 inches, and then they'd probably leave the rest of this blank. Or they would say, copy this table onto your paper and fill in the rest. So your job here is to count by 11s, but write those numbers down. So we would finish filling it in, following the trick that we know for the 11s, which is really easy till we get to there, and then we're going, oh yeah, there's a 10s trick. So it's 11 times 10. I need to write 11 and tack on a 0 at the end. Oh, these are the hard ones that I might not have memorized yet. Well, I know 10 groups of 11 is 110. So in my head, I just have to add what's 1 more 11. So 110 plus 11 is going to be 121. And then I do the same thing here. I'm adding another group of 11. And I get 132. And the only real arithmetic work I had to do here was at the end. So this is if it has you counting by 11s. The book also likes to have you count by 12s because 12 inches are in a ruler. So they might say, someone has placed rulers end to end along the length of the hallway. How many inches is it if they place 12 rulers end to end? And once again, they've probably started the table for you. They like to go about that far, so we're counting by 12s here. 12, 24, 36. Let's remember our 12 pattern. We go up 1 10 and up 2 1. So 36 to 48. Ooh, it's a 5. In fact, let's circle the 5 and the 10 here, because I know those are going to be special. When I get to the 5, and then later when I get to the 10, I'm going to skip a number in the 10s. So I'm going to skip 5, and I'm going to go all the way up to 6, and then my 8 there becomes a 0. 2, 4, 6, 8, 0. Then I stick with my pattern, go up 1 10, up 2 1s, 70 to 80, 2 to 4, 80 to 90, 4 to 6, 90 to 100, 6 to 8. Oh, I'm at my next one here. So here I have 10 10s. I'm going to skip the 11 and go right to 12. And then my 8 goes back down to 0. And we finished off. So the whole length of the hallway would be 144 inches. All right, boys and girls, it is time for you to do your lesson practice. So I have most of them right here for you. You can hit pause and do these problems on your own right now, or you can look in your textbook. They are on page 413. After I, there is a word problem where you'll be making a table, just like we were doing back here. So don't forget to do that one as well. If you are in my class, we're going to go over these answers when I see you later today. If you are not in my class, check the answers in your answer key for lesson practice for lesson 76. After that, get started on your written practice, which begins on page 413 as well. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.